Hello, I'm doing a movie review, and the movie I want to review is Batman vs. Robin. Now, Batman vs. Robin is a 2015 direct-to-DVD animated film. Now, this film actually acts as a sequel to the 2014 animated Batman film, Son of Batman. The film is also loosely based on the Batman story arc, The Court of Owls, which was written by Scott Snyder. Now, the plot of Batman vs. Robin is it follows the relationship between Batman and Damian Wayne. Now, Damian was a child that both Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul had, and in the movie Son of Batman, you realize that for the first few years of Damian's life, he was being raised by his grandfather, Ra's al Ghul, and he was being raised to be an assassin. But in the movie Son of Batman, you realize that Ra's al Ghul pretty much got killed. So in that movie, Bruce Wayne finds out about Damian, and Bruce ends up taking Damian in, and eventually in that film, Damian becomes the next Robin. Now, Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul taught Damian to kill. They taught him to kill his enemies, but Batman is against killing, and he's trying to teach Damian that if you kill a criminal, you're no different than that criminal. He's essentially trying to teach him justice, not vengeance. So basically, in the beginning of the movie, you find out that all these children were kidnapped, and Damian manages to track all these children down to this toy factory, and he tells Batman about this, and pretty much they find out that all these children were kidnapped by the factory's owner, and he's actually taking these children and turning them into these, like, zombie cyborgs, and that alone could have been its own movie, because that was actually pretty freaking disturbing. Like, the villain that they end up facing is the Dollmaker, who is a character from the comics, and I actually would have really liked to have seen a whole movie about Batman trying to take on that guy, because that was actually really freaking disturbing. But basically, they find out about what the Dollmaker has been up to, and they find out how he's basically been turning children into these cyborg zombies, and what happens is Damian chases him out into the woods, and of course he wants to kill him, because who wouldn't, considering what this guy is doing to these children. But then this man comes out of nowhere and kills the Dollmaker, and this man calls himself Talon. And as the story goes on, Talon tells Damian that the only real way to take care of crime is to kill the criminals, and that's how you will really improve life in Gotham City. And basically throughout the story, Talon is trying to seduce Damian and kind of take him over to his side. And it turns out that Talon works for a secret organization known as the Court of Owls, which have apparently existed for hundreds of years, and they used to control Gotham City, but they lost control, and now they're trying to take that control back. So in the movie, Damian really does start to come under Talon's spell, and for a while in this movie, Batman and Damian, or Robin, end up becoming enemies, hence the title of the movie, Batman vs. Robin. Now, Batman vs. Robin I thought was a really entertaining movie, and definitely if you're a Batman fan, I would definitely recommend giving this a watch, and I would certainly recommend this if you're a fan of a lot of these DC animated movies that DC has been putting out in the last few years. And in this story, you do start to see Damian go through a real arc. Now, in the movie Son of Batman, which this is a sequel to, even though Damian ends up joining Batman by the end of that, you realize that he's still kind of an arrogant brat, and really, when you think about it though, Damian is still a child. He's still learning. Yes, he's very intelligent, but he's still a child, and essentially in this movie, you see Damian start to learn why Batman does what he does, and start to have a little more patience for the things that Batman does. Also, the main villain of this movie, Talon, is actually a really interesting villain, and actually does have a pretty tragic backstory. Now, I want to bring up two of the voice actors in this movie that I thought was really kind of interesting. One was Weird Al Yankovic, who plays the voice of the Dollmaker in this movie. And I thought that was really interesting that they got a comedian to play the voice of a really disturbing character. And also Kevin Conroy, who played the voice of Batman in Batman the Animated Series. He actually plays the voice of Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, in flashback sequences in this film. But yeah, if you haven't seen Batman vs. Robin, I would definitely recommend it.